Sunday Live. Now, of course, Who Owns Kenya took a break during the elections. Now we're back, and we want to focus and revisit the troubled CMC Holdings, whose shares were obviously suspended from trading on the Nairobi Securities Exchange in 2011 following a boardroom wrangle. The boardroom spat saw the replacement of, let's just take that again, the boardroom spat saw the replacement of former chairman Peter Muthoka with the current chairman Joel Kibe over allegations of misappropriation of company funds over billing of the company by Andy Forwarders, a company owned by Muthoka. The company has, however, since resolved the dispute with the following: the retirement of its group managing director Bill Lay and the appointment of Mrs. Mary Ngige as the acting managing director. The wrangles may have, however, cost the company one of its key franchise with Jaguar Land Rover, which accounts for 30% of the CMC Motors sales. Jaguar Land Rover pulled its franchise away from CMC Motors in favor of the RMA Group, a factor that saw CMC move to court to block the intended termination of that franchise. The High Court, however, ruled in favor of Jaguar Land Rover. So who are the major shareholders of CMC Motors? At number 5 is APA Insurance Company, associated with business mogul Ashok Shah, holding 188 million shares in CMC Motors and accounting for 2.4% of the company. You can see the graphics behind me. At number 4 is businessman Paul Wanderi Ndungo, who owns 733 million shares, accounting for 9.3% of the company's shares. At number 3 is the current chairman of the CMC Motors, businessman Joel Kibe, who owns 739 million shares, accounting for 9.4% of the company. That's a look. We can see the graphics on your screens right now. At number 2 is Kingsway Nominees Limited, associated with businessman Jeremiah Kireni, holding 975 million shares, which accounts for 12.4% of the company. And at number 1 is former chairman Peter Muthoka, who was at the center of the boardroom wrangle that saw him go on a buying spree of the company's shares, seeking a 25% stake in that company. Trading of the company's shares was, however, suspended, leaving Mr. Muthoka with 1.94 billion shares and a 24.7% stake in CMC Motors. Let's now take a look at the dynamics of the local motor vehicle industry, which is set to change with various manufacturers including Toyota, General Motors and Fortin setting up assembly lines in the country. Locally assembled vehicles do not attract the 25% import duty on vehicles, making them cheaper for consumers and pushing up distribution. At the top of the list is American motor maker General Motors East Africa, controlling 27% of market share, having invested over 100 million shillings to upgrade its assembly line for various vehicles earlier this year. In second position, controlling 24% of the local car dealership market, is Japanese firm Toyota, which has also set up an assembly line for its Toyota Hino trucks in Mombasa as it seeks to compete with General Motors, whose market share is driven by its assembly of lorries and minibuses. Let's now take you to third position, which is DT Dobi, and it controls 13% of the local car dealership markets. Now, DT Dobi is largely associated with the sale of luxury brand Mercedes-Benz. And in fourth position is Samba Colt Motors, which largely deals in the Mitsubishi and Fuso brands. Samba Colt controls 12% of the local car dealership market. CMC Motors ranks 5th in the local car dealership market and was largely associated with the Jaguar and Land Rover luxury brands until it lost the franchise to RMA Group. CMC, however, still controls the Volkswagen brand as well as the Ford, Mazda and Suzuki brands. The remaining 14% of the local car dealership market is too fragmented, with various companies and sale yards selling used vehicles with no allegiance to any particular brand. There are, however, few other unique companies that deal in specific brands, including Honda, Tata, Fortin, among other brands. So there you have it, some context on the industry as well. That's what we'll be giving you on Who Owns Kenya, just to give you an idea in the fact that you're either interested in that.